Alright, welcome back to episode 3 of the BMC build series, and we have done some serious upgrades to this bike in the last week. As you can probably already tell, we have changed almost everything important on this bike already, other than the saddle, which is coming up later on. And holy shit, this thing looks like a completely different bike. It genuinely looks like a race bike now, and I'm interested to see how much it weighs. I think last time we were about 8.4 kgs. Alright, and before I start all of the upgrades, massive shout out. Mano NZ and Taylor Gumman have probably been one of the biggest supporters on this channel since day dot 2018, 2019 when I first started doing well. So thanks to them for also jumping on board for everything else that I do, and obviously Laser and the team. But now moving on to the upgrades on this bike, and there are plentiful. So starting with the biggest problem we had on the bike definitely was the wheels. The wheels and the tyres were just pretty heavy and pretty slow, but kind of to be expected on like a lower range, mid-range bike. You're not going to get everything. Now some people are like, oh, you've spent $7,000 bike and you've got rubbish wheels and rubbish, but the most important thing on your bike to buy first is the frame set. I bought a bike that's lower range with a nice bike. Everything else on your bike can be upgraded. The frame set is the most expensive part, and it's the hardest part to upgrade, and it's the hardest part to change. Everything else you can kind of slowly build up and get it to the spec that you want it over the years. You don't have to have it straight away, but it is nice to have the frame set you want straight up, and this is a beautiful frame, super light, super stiff, nice carbon fiber, well built, and it looks good. We have upgraded the wheels to these 105 Shimano 46mm carbon wheels. They're carbon disc brake with alloy spokes, super nice looking wheels. I actually quite like the fact that they don't have decals. So we got those all set up, tubeless. We've fitted these with the Vittoria Corsa Pros. These are the new Vittoria Corsas, completely different to the old ones. The last batch of Vittoria Corsas, in my opinion, and I own a bike shop, were pretty shit. They were constantly delaminating and stuff, but they have definitely fixed all the problems. These things are super gummy. They feel like they're absolutely like, these are definitely good race tyres. They don't have that like separate top bit that was glued on. It's all a one piece like a GP or a Pirelli or something. So they've done a very good job on that. I'm very impressed with these when I put them on. And they were actually quite easy to get on. Some of these new tubeless tyres are just absolute missions to get on. So these are obviously, I run them tubeless, 28s. On these wheels look absolutely sick. We put on just Ultegra grade discs on there, 160 front, 140 rear. And these have completely transformed the look of the bike. Not super deep wheels, just a good starting point, 46mm, 45mm. Such a good place to start on these wheels. So yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. They look so cool. And then the next part that I changed, which was the biggest upgrade for me, which has completely changed the bike, we're running the Pro PLT, just a normal alloy stem. It's a lightweight alloy, 120mm. It came with a 100mm. And then the biggest gripe that I had with it was the 42cm bars. No one uses 42cm bars anymore. So I put on the Pro Vibe ultralight alloy bars. I'm running these in a 38, so super narrow, nice little bar, and it has completely changed the entire feel of the bike for me. Just when I jump on it and ride it, I haven't ridden this other than just around the block, but already I feel so much more comfortable. And I've even with the -10° been able to go up a spacer so it doesn't look so trashy. Normally, if this was my race bike, I'd obviously cut this and slam it, but because I want to sell this at the end of the video, I'm definitely not going to be cutting it, just in case someone wants to buy it that doesn't want such an aggressive position. So pretty much now the only other things that I'd change, probably the saddle, and then upgrade the cassette to an Ultegra cassette, just so it's a little bit better wearing and sounds a bit nicer in the shifting. And then other than that, this is already looking so sick. ride on the BMC with obviously all the upgrades, and oh my god, that made such a difference. It was almost like riding a completely different bike. Obviously I'm used to riding a pretty high caliber of bike, and trying to get this, which is I guess you would say is a lower medium caliber, to try to perform like that is obviously not an easy task. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised at how well it climbed. It's super stiff. I did a couple sprints on it, but yeah, the tyres and the wheels have absolutely transformed this bike. I know the cockpit, like the upgrades look nice, like it's good on the eyes and it just feels nice to me, but it doesn't make a hell of a lot of difference other than the narrow bars might be a little bit more aero. But the biggest difference to the ride quality and the ride feel is definitely these tyres and wheels. I'm super impressed with them. They rode so well. These tyres, they've done a very good job with these. They may even be my new race tyre. I want to kind of test them out a little bit more. We're doing a Devo camp in Auckland next week, so I may potentially take these wheels and test them out on my wind space as well. But yeah, other than that, obviously that ride was only about 35 kilometers that I did, so I haven't really hit anything while I've been like, you know, really into the endurance. So I think the next mission for this bike is to keep doing what I've done. I'm going to change the saddle, change the cassette to an Ultegra cassette, and then do like 100 miles on it. I think 100 miles, 160 Ks is a pretty good tester, especially because this is the endurance model. I feel like it's meant to be ridden for a long period of time, so I need to go out and do a decent endurance ride on it and then come back to you guys and see what my thoughts are after that. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what videos you want to see on the BMC next. I'm pretty keen to do some challenges. I could do like a comparison aero test at the same wattage between this, the old bike, and my wind space, which is technically an aero bike versus like an endurance bike versus an old bike. But yeah, anything like that, leave me some comments down below. I'm pretty keen to hear your ideas, but yeah, definitely in the next video, 100-mile ride on the BMC Roadmachine.